I liked it. Yeah, let's live with it. There's no joke, too. Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
I liked it. What'd you think? Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
Let's live with it. That helps us, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can get...
Okay. Why don't we...
remember what you said, Gary. You had a good point.
Yeah, I'll Ever since 1956, the Green Bay Packers have played before a sellout crowd at Lambeau Field, and today is no exception. As the Packers, with a 4-8 record, play host to the Philadelphia Eagles, who come in here 8-4 in 1979. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Bender, along with Sonny Jurgensen, and today, the Eagles with a win could match their victory output of last season, also assure themselves of a second straight winning year. And Sonny, before the day is over, they could have sole possession of first place in the NFC East.
Right now in the second quarter, the New York Giants are leading the Washington Redskins. A very big game there. The Eagles didn't play well last week, I didn't think. They got by, but they didn't play well. It's a 4-game season now, Gary. They have to play well every game. They can't take the Green Bay Packers lightly, because if they do, they just have to go back and think about how Green Bay played the New England Patriots when they beat them here at home 27-14.
Sonny, you mentioned a 4-game season, and that's the way the Packers look at it. If they can win the remaining 4 games, they can finish at 500 for the year.
They played well offensively, Offensively, they played real well. Defensively, they have struggled, though. They had 2 defensive ends, for an example. Last year, they had 32 sacks. Butler and Ezra Johnson. This year, only 6. They also lost 2 big defensive linemen. They've had trouble stopping the run. That's been their big problem.
We're ready to start this football game as we go to the field. And kicking off is Tony Franklin for the Philadelphia Eagles. Andre Thompson coming up for the Packers. He's to the 25, trying to go outside to the 31. He had a 100-yard return for a touchdown earlier this year against the Jets. Louis Jamona making the stop, and let's look offensively at Green Bay. Turdell Middleton, a 1,000-yard runner of a year ago, and Eric Torkelson, and that has been a sore spot for this team. Many injuries. Lofton has over 30 catches. Hoffman set a new tight end record this year for Green Bay.
Very high on him, Gary.
And look at that offensive line. It averages 270 pounds, maybe the biggest in the NFL. And that's David Whitehurst, who comes in here ranked 10th in the NFC. Just across the 30-yard line, in motion is Lofton. The Eagles have never won on Wisconsin soil. Back to throw is Whitehurst. He has Kaufman, his big tight end, and Kaufman with his 40th catch of the year. Making the stop was Jerry Robinson. And let's set defensively, Philadelphia. Dennis Harrison, Sonny, going in place of Carl Hairston.
He's still having that muscle problem in his stomach that's bothering him, and Harrison will get the start today. Their linebackers, Bunning, Robinson, LeMaster, and Wilk. A good group of linebackers.
Boy, that Robinson, the #1 pick, has helped him. And back deep, the veteran, Bobby Howard. And Randy Logan has played very well at strong safety. 2nd down and 4. The ball at the 37-yard line. Again, in motion this time comes Thompson. Whitehurst gives off to Torkelson, and he'll go nowhere. Good reaction that time. As Charlie Johnson, that big nose tackle, you don't hear a lot about Johnson, but all the coaches tell me he is one of the most underrated football players they have.
It's quite a knack of playing that. Look at this. The Packers are going in a hurry-up offense here.
3rd down, still 4 yards to go. Whitehurst without the huddle. He completes it to Torkelson for a moment. Eric Torkelson has been a very steady performer. Couldn't hang on to that one.
Pretty smart move that time, because Green Bay, realizing that Philadelphia likes to make a lot of changes on the nickel defense, they didn't allow them to do that by going into a hurry-up offense. He had Torkelson open. It was a smart play by Green Bay. They just didn't execute. Right on the money. Just dropped the ball. Took his eye off of it.
But Beverly goes back to kick. You see his average. Louis Jamona goes back to receive this punt. And Beverly hits it low. Jamona at the 22. He's going to get away from it, and the Packers get a good roll inside the 20-yard line. Jim Gano is down there to down the football for the Packers. And now let's take a look at the Philadelphia offense. Montgomery, who needs only 25 yards today to surpass his total of 1,220 yards of a year ago. Carmichael still with that string alive of 108 straight games with at least one catch. And Krefley, who's a Potosi, Wisconsin native, having his best year at tight end. And there's that offensive line. It's a rugged offensive line.
Wade Key has really done a job since coming back in there, taking a place, and they've done a good job up front, providing running room for Montgomery.
Jaworski ranked 5th in the NFC, operating the team at quarterback from the 20-yard line. No score, just underway. Leroy Harris, the fullback, and he may get a couple of yards. As this Packer defense, Sonny's had a tough time stopping the rush. They are last in the NFC, giving up 179 yards a game. Let's look at that defense for Green Bay. You mentioned Butler and Johnson at the top of the show.
Johnson just getting back. Bart Starr said he's very happy to have him back. They've missed him.
Linebacking, well, John Anderson was out. He got hurt in the preseason, broke his arm. The secondary, Estes Hood, they weren't going to start him. They were going to go with Wiley Turner, but then they made a last-second change, and they reinstated him in that starting 11. Second down now, 5 to go from the 25-yard line. Jaworski gets off to Montgomery. He's hit hard. Number 50, Rich Wingo. And John Anderson. Wingo is a 7th-round draft pick out of Alabama, and they cannot believe how good he has played or how well he has played.
He was a little banged up today. There was some question whether or not he would be able to play, and knowing how tough he was, they figured that he would, and you saw an example right there why they're so high on the young man. 6'1", 230.
He was a 7th-round pick. He was the pick they acquired for Willie Buchanan when he was shipped to San Diego, and they'll get the second half of that, a 1st-round pick in 1980. Billy Campfield now in the backfield for the Eagles on a 3rd down 5. Jaworski with his first pass of the afternoon. Wide open is Campfield to the 35. He has a 1st down catch to the 39-yard line. Steve Luke, the strong safety, made the stop. And Campfield with his 7th catch of the year.
Good smart throw here, taking the man underneath the zone. Goes back, looks over the secondary. You see it. Pretty good rush coming in here. It makes you throw to Campfield, the back coming out of the backfield. Mike Douglas on the coverage end. Well, when you get that halfback singled up on a linebacker, that's what you want to throw against all day long.
14-yard pickup sets the ball up at the 39-yard line of Philadelphia. The first series for the Eagles, who could be in first place by themselves before this day is over. An 8-4 record. Jaworski wanting to throw, and Butler was up. Mike Butler was up in the air, and Montgomery, the intended receiver, couldn't get away from him. Butler is 6'5", was kind of playing like a guard would in basketball, guarding someone.
This is what happens. Butler gets in the line of throw here. He gets up in front. Jaworski can't throw the ball, has to throw the ball away. He has to throw it away. You saw what was happening. Earl Edwards was running right out there also. They realized where the play was going.
That play just didn't develop well at all. Not only was Butler in the way, but the timing seemed to be messed up.
You got to give the defense credit then. They defensed it well.
Second down 10 for the 39-yard line. Carmichael along with Smith split out. Montgomery picks up 5 to the 46-yard line. Johnny Gray eventually made the stop. Let's look at some scores. We have some games starting back east, and New Orleans has jumped all over the Falcons, who they lost earlier to this year in overtime.
Well, Atlanta always finds a way to beat them. Look at this, 21-0. Cincinnati leading St. Louis.
I tell you, those Bengals have been hard to figure out. New England having a tough time with Buffalo, who just beat Green Bay last week. 3rd down, a long 2 to go. On the 3rd and 2, Jaworski looking to Smith, and he has it. Smith to the 30, inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. Charles Smith with the catch.
He will not count. He was pushed out of bounds and came back in to catch the ball. I don't think they're going to give it to him.
You cannot catch the ball if you ever go out of bounds. You're an ineligible receiver if that's the case.
Let's see what happens here. He may be a penalty or something, but it looked like he went out of bounds. He split the zone outside. Came back in bounds, caught the ball. The officials saw it. All for naught.
The receiver stepped out of bounds, then back, caught the pass. Incomplete.
Very alertly picked up that time. as Fred Silva and his crew, and the Giants leading Washington. That is going to be a tough one for the Redskins.
Dakota scored on a 1-yard run for New York, and Mosley kicked a 23-yard field goal for Washington.
So instead of the first down inside the 30, they have a 4th down, kicking from their own 46. Back is Runninger, Johnny Gray, the deep man for the Packers. No score, 10:30 to go, first quarter. Runninger has done an excellent job this year at kicking, and he got that one very high. Gray is back. He's going to let it hit, and it's going to make it into the end zone for the touchback. Almost saved that time by Al Latimer. Latimer, the rookie free agent, almost kept it in the field of play. A 54-yard kick that time by Runninger. When we come back, the Packers will have it at the 20. There's no score.
First, you Yankee chaps took our dear old Queen Mary. Then you had the unmitigated gall to take our London Bridge. Now you've taken our Quiet. Your 1984 LTD was tested against our Rolls-Royce for Quiet in a scrupulously fair test over identical roads at identical speeds. British fairness forces me to admit that your LTD was just as quiet as our Rolls-Royce. Is there nothing left of the empire?
Ford LTD, as quiet as a Rolls-Royce.
You survey where the land is wild and unforgiving, filling in empty places on maps that until now have been almost unknown. But now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find, Miller High Life.
If you got the time, we've got the beer. Miller Beer.
Miller Beer.
At the 20-yard line, the Packers will have the football for the second time. No score thus far. Green Bay, who's lost 4 of their last 5 football games. They lost to Tuffy in Buffalo last week, 19-12. The Eagles, who come back after that 3-game losing streak to win 2 pressure-packed games against Dallas and St. Louis. In motion, that's Lofted. With the football, Turdell Middleton. Middleton to the 22-yard line, and he's swallowed up there by Frank LeMaster, the inside linebacker for Philadelphia. Let's check the score. Tampa Bay, should they hang on and win that, will win the Central Division. They can clinch it today. Their win, coupled with that upset on Turkey Day of Chicago, would hand them the division crown. And Cleveland is leading Pittsburgh 20-6. Boy, is that a shot.
Boy, that is.
Pittsburgh.
A lot of offense by Cleveland.
Pittsburgh got hammered the last time out by San Diego. Second down, 8 yards to go for the Packers. Whitehurst broken up. Looked like maybe Charlie Johnson got a hand on the ball. You know, last week the Eagles batted a couple of passes down. Dennis Harrison did it. Let's pick it up and see who in fact did hit it.
They were going to a little short out pattern. Look at Johnson, number 65, going to the right of your screen. How alert can you be to go up right there in front of the quarterback, and you got a left hand up right in his face?
We have a man shaken up. Dennis Harrison has limped off the field. Now, as we mentioned, Carl Hairston did not start. They didn't want to have to play him. They started Harrison, the second-year man from Vanderbilt, and he goes limping off the field. One thing they do have, Sonny, though, is good depth in that forward wall defensively.
Where they can bring in Manny Sistrunk, and he still doesn't know how strong he is.
It's going to be third down and still second down, I'm sorry, and still about 3 yards to go. Operating from the 27-yard line. I had to check who they've sent in there. Sistrunk has not played that much this year. Here's again to Torkelson. Torkelson to the 29, and that's going to be a yard short of the first down, as Sistrunk is the man they put in, and he immediately is in on a tackle. Sistrunk, the man they picked up from the Washington Redskins, he's lost his starting job because of the addition of Claude Humphrey and the improved play of Dennis Harrison. They also have Lim Burnham, who's not a bad football player.
They're playing a lot of situation football like most of the other teams around the league. They got people that play the run better than the pass and vice versa. Third down, less than a yard to go. Lofted split at the bottom of the screen. Firing off is Charlie Johnson. However, Whitehurst mishandled the snap from center. He had to fall on the football. But Charlie Johnson evidently offside, or was he drawn off? Let's look and see. Let's take a look at it up close here. You see Johnson taking the move. He can't get back. Ball was lost, but defense was offside.
Number 65, encroachment. First down.
Why don't they say offsides, Gary, instead of encroachment?
I think it's a classic way of saying it.
Oh.
Classical term. Trying to class this game up a little bit.
Thank you.
When you played it, they didn't talk that way.
They called it offsides then.
Inside the 35, first down, Green Bay. 8:52 to go, first quarter. Lofton, you see him appearing in the screen in motion. Whitehurst, far side to Thompson. Thompson to the 35, drags tacklers to the 37-yard line. Thompson hit by Reggie Wilkes. Wilkes, the second-year man out of Georgia Tech.
Boy, did he react to that play quickly. He was very tight as a linebacker, read the screen, and really got out there and beat the blocks to make the play and hold it to a short gain.
Sonny, this telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Green Bay Packers and the National Football League is prohibited.
I didn't know that.
Stick around. Burnham and Sistrunk making some changes defensively. Up front again is Vermeil as he has them in there now. Here comes Turdell Middleton to the 40. Middleton close to the 45, and that is very close to the first down. LeMaster, number 55, again in on the tackle. And the Packers have been playing hurt in that backfield all year long, and Middleton is a good example of it. He's had toe problems, ankle problems, knee problems, and now he's playing with a bad shoulder.
You know, the offensive coaches down there talking with Orkowski and Lou Carpenter, they said, we have improved in every category offensively this year. The games that we won were the games we played well defensively.
Third down, less than a yard to go. Packers have had 20 players that have missed 2 or more games this year. A give to Torkelson, first down. Torkelson into the Philadelphia end of the field at the 49. Torkelson is a man that every year has to fight for a job and always seems to see a lot of playing time.
Some good blocking up front by McCarron. Good blocking. He cuts back. Good tough running inside. Eric Torkelson. Edwards and Bernard Wilson in on the tackle.
You know, the big if in this football season for the Packers is what if Eddie Lee Ivory, Steve Atkins could have remained healthy. They lost their number 1 and 2 draft picks, and there's a halftime. The Giants still maintaining their lead. That's going to be a tough game being played in the Meadowlands. Here's Whitehurst back to throw on first down. Hits Torkelson, and Torkelson is hit at the 42-yard line by LeMaster. LeMaster making a lot of tackles, as is going to bring up still a second down. They're going to mark the ball just outside the 41. There's Torkelson's stats in the receiving department. Out of Connecticut, his 6th year. He was an 11th round draft pick in '74. He's had some injury problems. And Bart Starr in his 5th year as coach of Green Bay, and Zeke Bradkowski, they will signal the plays in. Bart will call them, and Zeke Bradkowski will signal the plays into David Whitehurst. Second down and 3. Torkelson to the 40. And it looks like he's going to be just short. He fumbled the football, and Philadelphia has come up with it. Let's go back on this. Torkelson fumbles the football.
You see him cut back here, a little slant off tackle. He sees some daylight, tries to cut back in. Just as he cuts back in, that's the ball is free right there. Philadelphia comes up with the football.
He just lost the handle. And the 34th turnover of the year as Jerry Robinson, the rookie from UCLA, comes up with a fumble recovery.
This home could be a lot like yours. It's a home that's losing heat, wasting costly energy. It needs pink Owens Corning fiberglass insulation. In the attic, under unheated floors, and in the outside walls. Stop paying to heat the whole neighborhood. Get Owens Corning fiberglass insulation now. It's cheaper than oil.
Mom, we got a present for you.
When you get home. Let's go. You can install the Stanley do-it-yourself garage door opener in about 4 hours. Everything comes in the box. Just assemble it, put it up, and plug it in. Surprise. The Stanley do-it-yourself garage door opener. It's a very nice thing to do for somebody else.
He did it so fast.
We want to help you do things right.
This Christmas, open the door for someone you love. Give a Stanley garage door opener.
Wednesday, it's Kenny Rogers, Mac Davis, and the Charlie Daniels Band with Kenny Rogers and the American Cowboy. Wednesday at 10, 9 Central.
And at Lambeau Field, at the 40-yard line with the football after the fumble by Torkelson, Philadelphia. Gary Bender was Sonny Jurgensen. We have no score. 5:59 to go. First quarter. Jaworski, play action on first down. Carmichael wide open at the 30. Carmichael to the 20, to the 15, to the 10. And Carmichael now has extended his string to 109. So at least one catch in 109 straight.
He's just split the zone here. The strong arm of Jaworski that time beat the zone because he threw the ball on the line, did not lay it up. Johnny Gray missed the tackle. McCoy and Hood finally chase him down. It's good for 50 yards. And Harold Carmichael has extended that streak to 109 straight games.
That was a 50-yard gain, setting the ball up at the 10-yard line. First down, Philadelphia. That's Harris in motion. Montgomery. Montgomery going nowhere. Excellent reaction that time. Wingo coming over. Ezra Johnson, number 90. And Montgomery, who needs 25 yards before this day is over to surpass his output of a year ago. Looks like he might have a difficult time running against a team that statistically you would think they'd have a heyday against.
I think this is his first game against them. He missed the game last year, the 10-3 win. He did not play against them. And his first start against them. So they're actually keyed up for him because every time he touches the ball, Rich Wingo is right there.
He has 6 100-yard games this year. 3 of them in a row. Second down, 10. Jaworski throwing to Montgomery. Touchdown. Wilbert Montgomery getting behind linebacker Mike Douglas. And the Eagles are on the scoreboard as Jaworski has just thrown his 13th touchdown pass of the year.
If Jaworski had had 2 footballs right here, he could have had 2 touchdowns. He had 2 people open for touchdowns. Makes a real fine touch right here. Throwing it right over the linebacker, Mike Douglas. Montgomery shows you that he can be effective not only running the football, but catching it also.
Not too bad this year. He already has 30 catches. And here is Tony Franklin, barefoot and all, and he doesn't seem to be bothered by the 30-degree temperature that we have in Lambeau Field. John Shira holds, and Franklin, who's just been remarkable this year, has now hit 25 of 27-point afters this year. So the Eagles, with a big, big game facing them here, the chance to move into sole possession of first, lead it 7-0.
The world's most advanced twin-blade razors are only as careful, gotcha, as you are. The Norelco rechargeable rotary razor has 36 surgical steel blades, carefully protected by 3 floating heads, and a unique shaving angle for a very close shave wherever you are, without a nick or a cut. The choice is yours. The close, careful Norelco rechargeable rotary razor, or 2 blades and gotcha.
Selling an insurance policy is one thing, but giving you good service is another. And State Farm agents can do that. Whether it's your life, health, home, or car insurance, the information you need is right at our fingertips. If you have a claim, your agent will get it started for you. Fast, friendly, good neighbor service. That's State Farm.
For your life, your health, your home, and your car. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Tony Franklin to kick off after an 11-yard touchdown pass from Jaworski to Montgomery. Franklin adding the point after, and at the 4:21 mark. That was a 60-yard drive on 3 plays after the fumble recovery, netting the 7 points. Thompson will bring it out, and Thompson is nailed at the 23-yard line. Good reaction that time by Philadelphia, and in particular, Ray Phillips has been playing with a bad leg. Well, tonight on CBS, we'll start it all with a brand new edition of 60 Minutes. Then the laughs are on the house at Archie Bunker's place, followed by One Day at a Time. And then George Burns and John Denver star in the divine comedy, Oh God. It's all on CBS
That's
tonight.
A good movie. Have you seen that?
I haven't, but I want to.
Good movie.
From the 23, the Packers will set it up. 3rd time they've had the football. Andre Thompson split out. Also split out is Walter Tullis. From From the 23, Whitehurst gives off to Torkelson. Torkelson to the 25, the 30, and he lunges forward what appears to be a first down. That was that old Packer sweep again. Bobby Howard coming up. They had some blockers out on that play.
You're watching, send the man, you just saw the man in motion go across. Just a hand back to Torkelson. He finds good blocking out in front of him. Lamaster gets stripped off Bunning. He gets it on the outside of Bunning, turns it up the field. Howard knocks him down.
And that was a first down run just short of the 34-yard line. The Packers trailing 7-0. The Packers have beaten the Eagles 7 times here in Lambeau Field and 3 times in Milwaukee County Stadium. 10-0 against the Eagles. This is Turdell Middleton, and Middleton gets a yard, and that's all. I tell you, this Eagle defense overall is ranked 5th. They're 8th against the rush. And let's check some other scores. Minnesota, boy, that would be a real upset.
They've gone back on top. It's 2 touchdown passes from Tommy Kramer in that one, leading 14-9. That's at halftime. 21-7, Cincinnati leading St. Louis. St. Louis got on the board with a Jim Hart 37-yard pass to Pat Tilley. And Pittsburgh has scored again. They now trail Cleveland 20-13. That's at halftime.
That's going to be a real shootout before that one's over. 2nd down and 8. Thompson comes in motion. Whitehurst. And Lofton, the intended receiver at the 49-yard line. Bernard Wilson was back defending. Also, John Bunting, the linebacker, dropped back on Lofton. Lofton this year with 38 catches for over 700 yards. Really played very well. He had a 34-yard touchdown catch last week.
You mentioned Walt Tullis a little earlier. 6 feet, 180 pounds. Second-year man from Delaware State. Talking with Lou Carpenter, the coach, he said he ran a 4.25 40. Can you imagine running that fast?
4.25. That's what the 2%, I would say, in the league.
I used to run a 20 and 4.25.
And then they'd have to get a resuscitation unit, right? 3rd down. 8 yards to go. Nice touch on the ball, but Torkelson couldn't hang on. Whitehurst took something off of that, a little pushing and shoving down the interior of that line. And Whitehurst showing pretty good touch on that pass.
He's played well. They feel that he's getting better each week. I think the game plan coming in for Green Bay has been well conceived because they've had people open. They haven't executed well. They stopped themselves on both drives now with drop passes on 2 occasions and the fumble on the other.
Whitehurst coming in here, it hit 57% of his passes. David Beverly to kick. Louis Jamal, they're faking it. That is complete. Jim Gano to the 41-yard line, and the Packers just kind of throwing caution to the wind. They don't have anything to lose. A 23-yard pickup and a first down for Green Bay.
You would think the Philadelphia Eagles would be alert for something like this because they did it last week. And look who he throws to. Jim Gano, a linebacker, makes a good catch and a good run with the ball afterward.
23-yard pickup, and the Packers now have the ball at the 41 of Philadelphia.
Remember Philadelphia, Frank Lamaster last week did the same thing.
Ran for 15 yards. Thompson, Lofton, split out the top of the screen. The Packers trailing 7-0, 2:06 to go, first quarter. Play action by Whitehurst, being chased by Claude Humphrey, throws against the grain to Middleton. Boy, that Lamaster is all over the football field. He came flying over there, and Middleton suspended in the air. Also over there was Jerry Robinson. Good protection.
Well, he gets flushed out here and runs to the side. This is a no-no, though. Don't throw the ball back against the grain under pressure. You can't get anything on it. It's anybody's ball there. He overthrows very easily. Robinson could have picked that off, but he was interested in punishing Middleton.
Boy, those linebackers for Philadelphia, Robinson, Lamaster, they can run. Wilkes, good mobility. 2nd down, 10 from the 41. Lamaster, check that. Whitehurst giving off to Torkelson, and Torkelson to the 35-yard line, where it's going to bring up 3rd down and still 4 yards to go. That was Robinson and Wilson combining on the stop. Torkelson, let's look at him again.
Anticipating the pass, he goes back, runs the draw. You see Darrell Goforth coming through. He makes a good run with the football. He actually didn't follow his blocking, but he makes good, strong second effort there. Pick up some good yardage.
Torkelson at 6'2", 194 pounds. 3rd down, a long 3 to go, almost 4 yards. Whitehurst to Middleton. And Middleton to 28, and a tackling by face mask against LeMaster. LeMaster reaching in there, so they will be tacking some more yardage on. And that fake punt now is starting to move the Packers into the scoring position.
Philadelphia came on a blitz. You see Robinson, number 56, going in on the rush. Means there's single coverage in that secondary. Good, smart throw, and you see the face mask right there. Frank LeMaster grabbing Middleton by the...
On the tackle, defense, number 55. First down.
And the first down to the 22-yard line. That pass completion was 14 yards. And so the Packers trailing 7-0 now with an excellent opportunity. Lofton and Thompson split out. Torkelson, Middleton, the running backs behind Whitehurst. Just outside a minute to go in the first quarter. Whitehurst, play action. Chased by Humphrey. Lofton, did he stay in bounds? He was out of bounds. Lofton tried to keep both feet in, could not. Dave Hark, one of the officials over there, was on top of that play all the way.
Obviously, in the opinion, I think David was a little late in his delivery of this ball. He was just a hair late in throwing the thing. He does make a good, accurate throw, leading Lofton back away. But in the opinion of the official who's right there, he would have come down out of bounds. You see one in and one out.
Herman Edwards defending on the play. 2nd and 10 from the 22-yard line. The future of Green Bay, number 17, David Whitehurst. Only his 3rd year in the league. And this young man, they think, can get the job done. Whitehurst on the 2nd and 10. He hits Torkelson. Torkelson dropped immediately by Jerry Robinson as they will mark the ball in the vicinity of the 17-yard line. 3rd down and still 5.
Again, the Eagles elected to blitz here. They did not get any pressure at all on Whitehurst, giving him a lot of time. And the same pattern, it's been open every time. They failed to execute it a couple of times. Torkelson dropped one for a first down. This time he does make the reception, and Robinson's right there.
We have an update on Cincinnati and St. Louis, and the Bengals have added to their advantage.
Kenny Anderson threw another touchdown pass to Isaac Curtis. He has 2 now in that game.
3rd down, 5 yards to go, 20 seconds to go in this first quarter. Whitehurst has time to throw, can't find anybody, and he gets rid of it, but I don't know who he was throwing it to. Claude Humphrey rushing him.
He had Eric Torkelson standing back over there, and that's where he went in that vicinity, but he was just downing the ball, keep from having a loss on the play. Good defense that time. He didn't throw the ball on rhythm, and he had to throw it away and down the ball, and they're going to go for the field goal.
Tom Burney will come in. He's 2 for 2 since replacing the injured Chester Markle, and this will be a 34-yard attempt. Steve Wagner to hold. Burney, this is his 3rd game as their kicker, a left footer, and that kick is good. And Tom Burney now is 3 of 3. That's replacing Chester Markle. And so the Eagles, with 8 seconds left to be played in this first quarter, have taken a 7-3 lead, but it's been whittled down as the Packers have been fighting back.
America, the world is waiting.
Healthy spaces, glowing faces, a life that's full of life.
Your world is waiting, and Visa is there.
You're traveling, you're moving, you're giving more to life.
Wherever life is good, you're making it better. And Visa is there for traveling, shopping, and cash. Visa is the most widely recognized name in the world. Visa, we're keeping up with you.
The 79 Ford Countdown Clearance is underway. Your Ford dealer is receiving allowances and additional cash incentives that he can pass on to you right now when you buy selected new 79 Ford cars and trucks. It could add up to $400 on V8 pickups, $500 on V8 club wagons and vans, $600 on rancheros. So see your Ford dealer now. Ask him about the $400, $500, and $600 better ideas.
Next Saturday, the CBS Sports Spectacular features highlights of the exciting LA Times 500, plus the final event in the Battle of the NFL Cheerleaders. You'll say you saw it on CBS Sports.
Tom Burney, a first-year man out of Michigan State, a free agent, He was cut and re-signed when Chester Marco was hurt, and he's 3 of 3 in the field goal kicking department. He hit this one very well. Billy Campfield from the goal line. Campfield breaks it out across the 25 to the 28. A good tackle was made by John Thompson, or he might have taken that one quite a ways. Thompson, out of Utah State, the backup tight end on the special teams, making the tackle on the ball just outside the 28-yard line. As the first quarter has come to a close here at Lambeau Field, Philadelphia Eagles lead it 7-3.
You dance on a river of wood, and you never forget that the spinning shapes in the cold, dark water are your only bridge home. So you keep on dancing. And when you've coaxed enough logs into place to build a good-sized town, you can finally head for River's End and Miller Time. Miller Time. Time for the best-tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life. America's quality beer since 1855.
When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear. Miller beer. Miller tastes too good to hurry through. If you got the time, we've got the beer. Miller beer.
We're not exactly alike. I'm wearing JCPenney Plain Pockets jeans, and I'm wearing the world's best-selling jeans. My jeans are made of tough, heavy denim with good looks and great styling. And mine have this fancy stitching on the back pocket. But Plain Pockets only cost you $12. JCPenney Plain Pockets. The big difference between us and them is the pocket and the price. I'll buy lunch.
We've played 15 minutes of football, ready for quarter number 2. The Eagles have the football, a first down at the 28.5-yard line. Robert Montgomery, Leroy Harris, the running backs behind Ron Jaworski. The Eagles with a 7-3 lead. Off to Montgomery, and Montgomery, who had only 7 yards prior to that run, has picked up 10, possibly 11 for a first down. Estes Hood over there to make the stop, and that's the Montgomery we've seen week in and week out.
You stop him occasionally, but not very often. You see slashing runner, as we've said, every game you see him play, he's impressive. Found a little daylight, scooted through it, picks up a first down.
He still has the best day of this season, 197 yards against the Cleveland Browns. Earl Campbell almost eclipsed that Thanksgiving Day, but he still has the mark. Here's Montgomery again on a first down, another 5, 6, 7, 9 yards as he's close to the 50-yard line. Johnny Gray, the free safety, up to make the stop. And the Giants still leading Washington.
And now in the third quarter, they got their touchdown on a 1-yard run by Doug Coder. They're leading 7-3. It's in the third quarter right now.
By the way, that last run by Montgomery moves him past his high of 1,220 yards of a year ago. So he's eclipsed the personal high of last year. And, of course, he's the first Eagle back to ever have back-to-back 1,000-yard years. Here's Leroy Harris carrying. And Harris to the 46.5. Terry Jones, a second-year man out of Alabama, number 63, made the stop for Green Bay. The Packers, as far as the rushing department is concerned, as far as the pass rush is concerned, 24 sacks this year, Sonny. Last year they had 48, as you're looking now at David Whitehurst.
Yeah, that was a big difference. They talked about losing Ezra Johnson for a while and Butler. You know, they only have 6 sacks between them so far, and they had 32 last season between them.
They're giving up 364 yards per game, and that is last in the NFC. Jaworski back on a pitch intended for Carmichael. Broken up. Beautiful play by Mike McCoy. McCoy at the 26, and Carmichael just couldn't find the handle.
Watch this pass, a square end pattern back Carmichael, about 15 yards. A lot of green shirts around that football. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys, green shirts around Carmichael.
think they might respect him?
I think they do after he caught the 50-yarder earlier.
There's that stat we were just mentioning a while ago, 364 yards. Second down, 10. Harris and Montgomery both jump into a wing. Now they jump back. That's a new wrinkle. And a give to Montgomery, and Montgomery into the 45. Rich Wingo really popped him. Boy, I tell you, John Madden said earlier this year he's as fine a rookie middle linebacker as he's seen.
He just seems to get better. He really has a nose for the football. He plays well. They're going to the nickel defense now. They're taking him out, bringing in Wiley Turner.
You know, Wingo has this year 108 solo tackles. He's playing with a badly bruised thigh that he suffered in the fourth quarter of last week's game with Buffalo. Third down, still 8 yards to go. Carmichael and now Scott Fitzke has checked in. They're split at the bottom of the screen. Jaworski in a little bit of trouble. He gets rid of it. Feels he intentionally grounded that one. Charles Johnson, the rookie out of Maryland, putting pressure on, and I believe they're going to mark the ball back where he was down. They are saying that he was in the grasp and control, and they mark it back where he was down.
They have a little different terminology now. Instead of in the grasp, I think they call in control, just like you said, Gary. They said he was in control, and they're calling it a sack.
So it will bring up fourth down, 16 yards to go, and Runniger will kick. Johnny Gray is back for the Packers. Runniger hits a beauty. Did he get into that one? And it is going to just make it in. Jerry Robinson, number 56, down there. He seems to be down there all the time on the special team. A 53-yard kick that time by Max Runniger. This rookie out of South Carolina has been a remarkable kicker for Philadelphia.
Thunderbird. Thunderbird. Spread your wings in the new 1980 Thunderbird. Introducing a Thunderbird of new contemporary size that shows its elegant heritage wherever you look. Outside, inside. Yet it's remarkably priced, and that includes automatic transmission, power steering, power brakes, vinyl roof, and more. The new size Thunderbird, a better idea for the 80s.
Not for 1 year, or even for 2, but for 3 years in a row. One 19-inch color TV has challenged America's biggest sellers, RCA and Zenith. And every year, independent surveys show the Sylvania Superset, the clear winner for best overall color picture. Isn't it time you found out why Sylvania keeps winning and winning and winning? The Sylvania Superset. We may not be the biggest, but a lot of people think we've got the best picture.
Max Runniger with that last kick has now averaged 53 yards in his 2 efforts of the afternoon. The touchback setting the ball up at the 20-yard line for the Packers, who trail 7-3. They have Lofton and Thompson split to the bottom of the screen. 11:40 to go before halftime. Whitehurst off to Middleton. And Middleton just can't get the corner turn. Excellent pursuit by the Philadelphia Eagles. Sonny, we were talking before the game about how they get the plays into David Whitehurst. You visited with Zeke Bradkowski about it.
They have an arm. It's kind of a plastic little doohickey on his arm here that they give him the goal line plays and also other information. There's a man right there on the right of your screen with a microphone on, and he's the one that sends in the play. And if they don't have to send in a player to give the play, he can give him a signal, and he will go to his wrist to be able to call the play.
Second down, 10 from the 20. Whitehurst to play action. Look out. He gets rid of it and completes it. Good catch by Lofton at the 35-yard line, and that'll be a first down. Whitehurst just got rid of that ball in time.
You better believe this is an excellent throw. He throws this ball before Lofton ever turns around. Has no place to throw the ball at. He's just guessing where he's coming back. It's something you work on time and time again. Just excellent timing. The ball had to be thrown perfectly. It was. Herman Edwards on the stop. No way to defend against that type of pass.
15-yard pickup to the 35-yard line. And the Packers starting to put things together. The Eagles could be in for quite an afternoon before this is all over. Whitehurst back again on first down. Overthrown. Wilson almost with the interception. Lofton, the intended receiver, at the 45. Renard Wilson, who already has 4 interceptions this year.
There's the signal. Let's see if we can pick up the signal by Zeke. Uh-oh, open hand, cross. Looks like a third base coach of some kind, doesn't he?
Let me ask you something. How long would it have taken you to get all that down? You would really have to go to school on those signals.
They had a big idiot board on the sidelines. They would hold up and say, 28, dummy.
Minnesota continues to really give Tampa Bay a real shellacking, 17-9.
Denmark kicked a 45-yard field goal.
Tampa Bay trying to clinch the division, and Minnesota will have nothing to do with it. Second down, 10. Whitehurst back. Kaufman at the 45. Defending on the play was Randy Logan.
You know, that crossing pattern every time, Gary, has been open to Kaufman and also to Torkelson, and they just haven't executed it well. A little earlier, Torkelson dropped one, which would have kept a drive alive. They just haven't executed that particular pass.
You know, Kaufman coming in here has 39 catches. That's a Packer record for a tight end. You remember the guy that had the record before? Ron Kramer, 37. You remember him very well.
Oh, big Ron Kramer, huh?
Third down, 10. Whitehurst on the 3rd and 10. Lofton. Wilson again coming up on the fly. They're trying to get it to their outstanding wide receiver, but he's been a little too tall in the last 2 efforts over the middle.
That ball just got away from him. He lost his grip on it. You saw how it took off, went over the receiver's head. He's shaking his head as he comes off the field. Beverly
now will kick. He has 1 punt for 44 as you're looking at it. On the 21, he'll boot it. Jamona is back for Philadelphia. The Eagles look like they're going to really come after it this time. 10 men up on that line. Beverly gets it underway. Jamona at the 26-yard line. And he is snowed under at the 34. A 39-yard kick that time by Beverly. I tell you, coming across and flying in front of him was Latimer. He had a pretty good angle at that block, but he couldn't come away with it. We'll be back with the score 7-3 Philadelphia.
Wouldn't it be nice if batteries had gauges so you'd know ahead when you'd need a replacement? There's something good as a gauge better. The Rayovac Long Life Long Storage Alkaline. Now you can keep spares and never do without. See, its energy elements are compacted under 10,000 pounds, so that even after 4 years of standing there, it has more than 85% of its energy. Who needs a gauge? With Rayovac Alkaline, you can buy with confidence, buy spares with confidence, and never run out of gas.
Announcing a gas-saving breakthrough from Ford Motor Company. The first and only automatic overdrive transmission in any American-made car.
When your car reaches about 40, Ford's new transmission automatically shifts into overdrive.
The result? Your engine runs 1/3 slower for increased highway fuel efficiency. It's one of many engineering improvements that helped 1980 Ford, Mercury, and Lincoln
cars average over 120 more estimated highway miles than last year on 20 gallons of gas. That's incredible.
Automatic overdrive at Ford, Mercury, and Lincoln dealers.
Next Saturday, the CBS Sports Spectacular features the final event in the Battle of the NFL Cheerleaders, plus highlights of the 9-ball pool championship. You'll say you saw it on CBS Sports.
Well, that's what we mentioned earlier. The Eagles have never beaten the Packers in Wisconsin. I think they still remember that 1960 game when Vince Lombardi was beaten in the NFL title contest, and they've kind of taken out their wrath on him, haven't they?
I can recall back in '62 they took it out 49-0 in Philadelphia.
First down for the Eagles after a 39-yard kick by David Beverly. 7-3, the Eagles with the lead. Leroy Harris gets a block from Montgomery, and he's to the 45, 50, and out of bounds. Did you see Montgomery throw a block on that play? Rich Wingo eventually ran him out of bounds. Let's go back and watch 31 kick a man out, and Harris cut behind him.
He got excellent blocking here. I'll tell you what's impressive was watch number 50, Rich Wingo, won him down. He goes a long way to run him down. Harris gets in the open. You see how he has to throw his body at him just to knock him out of bounds.
Harris picking up the first down inside the Packer into the field at the 48-yard line. Harris coming in here at 285 yards rushing. This is Montgomery, and Montgomery bouncing off of people inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. Boy, is he tough. Not only physically, Sonny, but he's mentally tough. He'll just go inside and run as tough as anyone in the NFL.
He likes the game. He's got such a good attitude about playing the game, and I think that helps him, with this football team because they rely on him, and he just goes out, never complains, does his job week in and week out.
34 yards for Montgomery on 7 carries thus far. Jaworski's 3 of 6 in passing as he comes to second down and 6. Montgomery again trying to go wide, and a fine tackle by Mike Douglas. Douglas, who most of this year has led this team in tackling, second-year man from San Diego State, and you can't make a better tackle than that.
This is what you call delivering the blow. Let's see who delivers the blow. I think both of them do. He gets him in the open, nobody in front of him. Montgomery lowers his shoulder, and they both go down. They both lowered their shoulders, and they both hit the turf.
Mike Douglas became the starting right side linebackers. You look at Marion Campbell and Carl Peterson of the Eagles. When John Anderson went out. Now Anderson's back, and they're playing him on the left side. They have some good young linebackers on this team. Third down and 7 from the 45. Jaworski, 3 of 6 in the passing department to Harris. John Anderson, who we just mentioned, is there, and that's going to be short of the first down. John Anderson, who has twice broken his arm, has it heavily wrapped. His left arm was there and covered it very well.
And they were able to cover very well because of the good rush.
Look at that.
Did you look at that? I'll tell you one thing. I felt like that a couple of mornings I know of.
Well, our producer, Bob Rowe, has also looked like that a couple of times. Fourth down now, 4 yards to go. Runniger will kick.
What's he drinking? Green chartreuse or something?
Back deep is Johnny Gray. He's averaged 53 yards. This is going to be a fair catch by Gray at the 10-yard line, and the Packers will have it there. Johnny Gray, who's taken over the punt returns after Steve Odom was shipped out. That was a 32-yard kick that time by Runniger. Packers will have the football at the 7:27 mark.
The way to financial opportunity is sometimes filled with risk. But somewhere, there are good, solid ways to go. And our ability to put you on strong, solid ground is simply unavailable at any other investment firm. Merrill Lynch, a breed apart.
A great deal of time and care go into the production of a fine play, just as they go into the making of a fine wine. Paul Masson's Rhine Castle. The taste is smooth, flavorful, delicious. Paul Masson wines taste so good because they're made with such care. What Paul Masson said nearly a century ago is still true today. We will sell no wine before it's time.
Guard star was Zeke Brankowski and Bill Curry all discussing the situation. Boy, what a tradition they have here, Sonny. There's 3 of them that provided a lot of victories for the Packers.
Great people. Great human beings. They really are. Nice men.
At the 10-yard line, first down for the Packers.
Got an update on that Minnesota-Tampa Bay game. Tampa Bay is coming back. It's in the third quarter. Minnesota leads 17-16.
Our score here in favor of the Eagles, 7-3. Whitehurst giving off to Torkelson. Torkelson able to get out to the 15 and across the 15-yard line. That offensive line for Green Bay weighs 270 pounds as an average. They're a young offensive line. Concar's a 4th-year man. Gopher, 3rd. Harris, 2nd. Cook, 3rd. you know, you got to believe that they'll get better and better.
How much weight did McCarron gain this year?
He's up to 261 pounds. He started the year at 248. So they have been pumping the iron. Second down and still 5 yards to go. And again, it's Torkelson and not much running room.
Claude Humphrey made a real good play that time. He came around his block, made the play from behind.
Humphrey has 7 sacks. Hairston, who didn't start today, had 13 on the other side. That's 20 sacks from those 2 flanking positions. Humphrey just found a new life in Philadelphia.
Good attitude, providing a lot of leadership, too.
Humphrey coming over to join Marion Campbell, his former coach. Claude said it took him a while. He said that layoff after he quit in Atlanta slowed his progress.
Yeah, they do feel he's getting better each week now.
Third down and still 2 yards to go. There's Whitehurst for the day. Torkelson trying to pick up those 2 yards, and he's going to be very close. His forward progress, I think, got him the first down. It is a first down for the Packers.
Good running. And watch your blocking out in front. Watch Leotis Harris. Good block right there. He cuts in behind it. Gets up in there enough for the first down as he gets a lot of white shirts on him.
Torkelson playing after Barty Smith was hurt. Steve Atkins was hurt. Eddie Lee Ivory. He's one of those guys that you keep looking down the bench, and he's always ready to play. And he's getting an opportunity now. On a first down, Whitehurst. Going deep. Broken up. Defending on the play, Bobby Howard. Tullis, Walter Tullis, the intended receiver, and that's the man, Sonny, you said ran that remarkable 40-yard dash.
4-2-5. Both people going for the ball. Some people may have thought this was interference. Good throw by Whitehurst. Right on the money. Watch what a smart play that Howard makes right here, going for the football. His ball just as much as Tullis's. No interference call.
Bobby Howard, who is 34 years old, his 13th year out of San Diego State, has 2 interceptions. He has 36 for his career, so he's been in those situations before. Second down 10 as Whitehurst kind of shook him up a little bit on that one. Back to throw again. Protection is excellent. Lofton, the intended receiver, but behind him. Kaufman was open at the 30-yard line. There's a flag at the 7-yard line. Paul Kaufman was open, and he was waving his arms. It's going to be holding against Green Bay. So the Packers, with not good field position now, are going to be in a worse situation. Dennis Harrison back in the game after taking himself out earlier. Bigfoot, as they call him.
I think they'll decline the penalty here.
The field a little slippery, isn't it, Sonny? We've seen a couple of guys hit the deck out
Number
there.
79, holding, refused.
That's Mark
Third down.
Contar, the offensive left tackle. They will refuse it. Yep, Ken Iman. Another ex-Packer, along with Dick Vermeil. You know, there's tradition, and then there's really tradition up here, you know it?
Yes, there is.
Max Reniger, who's done a good job kicking today.
Boy, just to come back in this stadium brings chill bumps to me.
Third down, 10 yards to go as they refuse a penalty. Give to Turdell Middleton, and Bernard Wilson is there, coming up from his safety spot. No gain on that play, and that'll bring up 4th down. And so Jamona will come out to field this punt. Boy, the Eagles have had Wally Henry, who's done an excellent job. John Shira, who's done a good job. And now they have to use Jamona as both of those men are hurt. Shira can hold on the placements, but with that hamstring problem, they don't want to use him on punt returns. There's David Beverly. His average. 4:47 remaining in the first half. The Packers trailing 7-3. Jamona. Tough catch, but he made it, didn't he? 50-yard line and out of bounds at the 48 of Green Bay. That was Paul Rudzinski out of Michigan State after a 37-yard kick. And so the Eagles have good field position with 4.5 minutes remaining until halftime, and the Eagles with a 7-3 lead.
Ford 79 countdown clearance is underway. Your Ford dealer is receiving allowances and additional cash incentives that he can pass on to you now when you buy selected new 79 Ford cars and trucks. It could add up to $400 on V8 Mustangs and pickups, $600 on LTD, over $1,000 on Heritage Thunderbirds. See your Ford dealer now. Ask him about the $400, $600, and $1,000 better ideas.
Our corporation had to have an insurance company that pays medical claims promptly, fairly, and courteously. Connecticut General really came through for us.
Coming through for you. That's what CG people do.
Dental claim forms are a lot easier to fill out when they're in my language instead of insurancees. And that's how Connecticut General comes through for me.
Coming through for you. That's what CG people do.
Call us. We'll come through for you, too.
Next Saturday, the CBS Sports Spectacular features highlights of the exciting LA...